area of peer review very interesting, because I personally have advocated for that, particularly at the point of career progression in terms of promotion times, because I've come to believe that perhaps that will be the only unbiased form of, if you exempt a person from assessing himself, that is, if you allow the man to appraise every other person's sense of learning together, I think you will have a better evaluation. Moral courage is desired of all of us as higher leaders, defense managers, to be able to put the right thing down. Going forward, I think a more impersonal approach, using technology and using performance, kind of an evaluation system whereby before you attain a particular milestone or a point, there are target questions that must be desired and asked of the person evaluating. If you think the officer you're assessing deserves 8.0 beyond expectation, what has he contributed? There must be an interactive, a kind of format or a pro forma that demands more of the assessor to ensure that the person he's evaluating meets particular milestone to attain the particular grade what we grade here. Can this be done by humans? Can Nigerians have that level of moral courage to affect it? I think because the body is on all of us. Otherwise, can we avail the use of technology, artificial intelligence, to be able to apply an impersonal approach to personnel evaluation based on established criteria that have been fed in, such that these postings and these evaluations are done impersonal of our various colors and conflict areas of interest. Because often that is the issue that we find ourselves with. So in all, I want to appreciate the Military Secretary, my brother General Okoro, for the invitation, and to once again commend the efforts and strides that have been made by the Office of the Military Secretary in setting the path of excellence for the other services, and pray that perhaps we can have much more forums of this nature, perhaps in smaller groups where we can interrogate issues that have common interest to the armed forces as a whole. I want to thank you again for this and convey my best wishes from the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu-Okada, Admiralty Medal, to the Chief of Army Staff for an excellent counsel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for the contribution. May I, at this juncture, most respectfully invite the special guest of honor, represented by the Chief of Special Services and Programs, to sum up the session.
Our resource person, very senior officers, gentlemen, let me thank the resource person for a well-researched and well-delivered lecture. The paper is so vast and it covered almost everything. I was telling the military secretary that this paper is not only relevant to the Department of Military Secretary, but also Department of Personnel Management, Department of Administration, and even to some extent, Department of Army Logistics. So it covered virtually cited the example of an executive commission officer that did well in the field, but the ceiling for his promotion was major and was not promoted. I think, the way the system works, there are different types of commission. We have the regular commission, short service, GRC, and whatever. By right, executive commission officer cannot even command a unit that has a regular officer, short service officer in that unit. Despite his performance, you cannot promote him above the ceiling of the rank provided in his status. The same way, you cannot carry, for example, a medical officer, because you can find and say, just issue him an infantry, let him go and do the commanding officer. Everybody has his job. I think we have reached a stage where in our human resource management we should start thinking of how we place our personnel that are leaving the service to get opportunities outside the service. I think there is need for maybe the Directorate of Veteran Affairs in DOA maybe to have a way of getting placements, positions, appointments outside the service that can be secured such that our personnel that they are leaving, we can look at those that are qualified so that we can take up those appointments. I was privileged to attend a course in the US, and almost 80% of the participants of that course were retired military personnel. Some colonels, lieutenant colonels, there was none that was even the brigadier general. And I asked one of them, how come, vast majority of the participants here are retired? He said, yes, because to them, you join the service and you pick a time and say, okay, maybe after 10 years, once I reach pensionable age, if 10 years is the years for pension, for you to be qualified for pension, you just put it in your paper and go. And the service will get appointment for you in one of the ministries, agencies of government, and you'll be employed. And once you spend another 10 years there, your pension will go. So you'll be drawing pension from two. Our system, we can only draw pension from one source. That is why we all want to stay until the kingdom come. We don't have any option outside. I think if we can have a way that one can else and start another work somewhere and draw pension there, it will be better. Because to them, drawing pension from two different sources is more than staying in the army and retiring as a military.